there's something about Don Quixote which rings a bell in most people's minds. This poor guy is trying to be honorable and chivalrous and courteous in a world that is not honorable and chivalrous and courteous. And somehow he becomes a tragic figure. Chainmail is fun to make because you can make it with, it's like carrying knitting around with you. You can just a couple of pairs of pliers, and you can make chainmail anywhere you go. My first piece of armor I made when I was 18. I made a chainmail glove because I was doing some wood carving at the time, and I'd cut myself pretty badly, and I said, well, let's take a look and see if I could make armor. And I knitted myself a chainmail glove, and sure enough, I was carving a little piece of wood, and the knife slipped and came right across the chainmail glove and didn't hurt me at all. And I said, this stuff works. It's good stuff. There's a reason for why we build armors. I used to like to do the blacksmithing or the chainmail and the armor making because fixing airplanes, the electrics are so advanced and so high tech. I wanted to do something to relax with that was low tech. So there's nothing more low tech than hitting a piece of recalcitrant metal with a hammer. I make some beautiful swords, double-handed swords, single-handed swords, short swords, shields, wooden shields, steel shields, leather shields, even plastic shields, because plastic shields really do stand up, and they're good for practices. Swords, knives of any kind, armor. I do a lot of chainmail armor. Guaranteed you've heard my armor. I'm not allowed to tell which movies they're in, but almost any movie that that was ever made by Lionsgate Productions is and that involves somebody moving around in a suit of armor in the background. That armor was my armor because all the Foley artists they all buy from me. And they're looking for chainmail that's all ragged, and they're looking for rusty armor that creaks when you move it. That's what they're looking for. And so I can guarantee you have heard my armor, even if you haven't seen it. So that's surprising, isn't it? Most people don't realize that. There was something about the swords and knives and armor that I really liked, and that was because there's an ethos, a medieval knighthood chivalry ethos. And I hate to use a word like ethos but it just means it's a code that they follow in their day-to-day life. But it's a game. It's still a game. Part of why I make the armor is because you get so much closer to the product. You get so much closer to the item, and that involves being closer to what the item represents. The item represents the chivalry, the honor, and the courtesy. And I keep coming back to that, and the reason I keep coming back to it is because that's overwhelmingly important to me. If you go in the inside of my house, you'll see those words written on the wall right in my dining room.
You bear any offensive steel, gentlemen? No. Salute the crown. Salute your marshal. Salute your most noble and honorable opponent. Ready on the left, ready on the right. Yes. Lay on.